Hey folks, what's going on? I'm Scott Schertzen and down below today. And alongside me is the charismatic Mr. Davion Bussey doing his best profile look possible. And Ryan O'Regan, who's doing his best, I can't believe I'm actually tied to these two bastards, look of his own. This, of course, is Tales from the Film Set, where we talk about and break down what's going on in the latest movies with the perspective of people that have been in the film industry for years to, in some cases, combined decades at this point, by God in heaven. With our own insight, our own twist, and a lot of times our own complaining and whining about it. So, in the meantime, gentlemen, Ryan, how are you? We'll start you first.
It's been a long weekend.
It's been a long day.
Long time coming.
No, because if anyone that's been following the socials, obviously, you know, I did the Oppenheimer review, I did the Barbie review, and then I was on set for a film that I've been working on since 2019 that finally I have finished my end of the whole shooting. Hopefully everything will be nicely edited in time for premiere this October. Nice. And then that movie, that chapter is all set and taken care of. So
awesome.
You know, unfortunately I won't be able to have Robert come to the viewing because it's going to be in Jersey. But
he'll make the trip. He's done worse.
He has traveled extreme amounts for things.
You want to pay for my flight? No.
I hate to see what your frequent flyer miles look like, man. I seriously do. But
I actually have never driver miles.
I was gonna say I haven't done any flying. I've only done driving to all the conventions I go to.
You drive to all those?
Yes.
Ew.
You can't
you know the price of gas in America?
Yeah, but you can't bring everybody's stuff. I do commissions. I can't bring everybody's stuff on a plane.
It's fair.
Yes, you can. Put it in a lockbox and just throw it underneath the plane. Like
you must have not seen my post from Dallas. If I tried putting all the stuff that I got signed at Dallas in a little lockbox, everything would be destroyed or something.
Wait, newspaper. I don't know. But
I bring like short boxes. Like I probably brought about 4 or 5 short boxes of stuff to get signed. Plus I had posters. It would have been no way.
Look, we got to find a way for you to get in touch with like Ming Chen, because that guy does like huge amounts of.
He's known Ming for years.
I've known Ming. Me and Ming are friends. Yeah,
I know Rob Manning because of Ming, actually.
Yeah,
I know Ming because of I think Comic-Con. Not just
everybody
Comic-Con,
knows Ming.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I met Ming is the reason why I know Scott. And when Scott and like Ming and Scott's the reason why I got to interview one of the comic book men. So then I sent Scott Pib because you guys don't have Pib out there. So I sent him 2 liters of Pib. And then I gave Ming a 2 liter of Pib that took a while to get back to Scott because I didn't know Ming had more conventions.
And I remember the day I got it because my wife had to basically bring it back in the house while I was on set for a Michael Chiklis pilot, where the PA was just, please do your job so we can go home. I hate this thing.
So Rob, you're telling me the way you got involved with all of this is because you have the Mr. Pibb hookup?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He used to comment on me and JT's podcast back in the day.
Yes.
That's how it started.
And then I wanted to, I got to interview Mike Zapkin because of everything. Scott told me how to get a hold, and we were talking. And as a thank you, because I loved interviewing people, I said, "Hey, Scott, I'm sending you Pib."
How the hell was that 5 years ago already? Holy shit.
Yeah. Because you just got off of, shortly after that, you got off of the set of The Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman I did, by God, in 2017.
Yeah, that was
Because I literally moved in the middle of.
That's 6 years.
I lived in one place, and then I left that place, went to set all day, and then started living in the new place that night.
Wow.
Oh God, Greatest Showman was glorious.
Got
my insurance out of it.
But still, Pib.
Dude, I like Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, because I wanted to give a thank you because Pibb was after the conversation, but I wanted to give him a thank you.
No Pibbsism.
I'm sorry, I went to school in West Virginia. I know the importance of Mr. Pibb, but that's only because they didn't have Dr. Pepper.
Well, he's like, hey, he's like, I don't have any, because we were talking, and like I said, he helped me set up interview. So then when I talked to Scott and he told me he didn't have no pib, because I sent him a picture of me with the pib. He said, we don't have that out here. And then I was like, what's your address, Scott? And I sent him 2 things of and it was not cheap. I found out how much it was, so that's why I gave it to Big next time, because it was $30 to ship 2 liters of pib.
That is terrible.
The unbridled loyalty that Rob Manning has to me, I can never make it up.
Talk to me when you find like RC Kohler and Dr. Thunder.
We have that.
Well, Dr. Thunder or Dr. Bob, like that.
Dr. Thunder is Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's something different about like country like oriented water. Like anything below the Bible Belt is just different from everything above it.
Okay, then you hook me up with an interview and I'll send you some too.
I ain't selling soda for $30. That's crazy. You want it, you come to Jersey. You drive or you fly or you take a boat. I don't care how, but you come and get it.
But anyways, how is everybody doing this week?
Good. Let's bring this back, shall we?
Yes.
Wow. We burned 6 minutes and we haven't even gotten to a topic yet.
Barbie.
No, wait, we got to introduce everybody. Oh, God.
What?
All right. Well, that's Day. That's Ryan. That's Scott. And I'm Rob.
I didn't even do that. Oh, my God. All right. Anyway,
you did.
You did it, but you just didn't do it for Rob. Rob just pops back in. Like
That's fair. That's fair.
And not only that, Ryan got to do his intro saying, yeah, I was doing this and that.
Okay, Day, what did you have going on this weekend?
Mine's just on a sad note, ladies and gentlemen. I lost a family member last week. I had to go to a wake. It was a tough moment in our family, and I'd like to thank everybody that responded, gave me condolences and everything. It was greatly appreciated. You haven't been forgotten. Saturday, I went straight to a movie set where I played 2 characters for a horror film, and that went well.
So you scared Rob off with the gloom and doom of a loved one, and then there he is, back when they're talking about acting again.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah. I figured I'd give you the floor on that one and just like hide everything. So.
It's okay. But thank you all for all your support. Even you, Scott, Ryan, Robert.
Even you, Scott. Yeah, even you. Thanks to everybody. Even you. You did not completely suck.
Of all the white guys, Scott especially. Yes.
See. I
am Captain White Bread.
No. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, Scott did send his condolences and he did check up on me. Like a few other people checked up on me. And
what happened? I'm sorry. I got kicked because somebody called me, so I didn't get to hear anything.
Wow. All right, I lost a family member.
That is so AOL.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm on the internet. I have to make a call.
Well, I come from an era where that was the internet.
Thank you, Ryan. But back to the Barbie.
Okay. We are now a full 9 minutes into this episode at this point. And we haven't even touched on anything Barbie, Oppenheimer, and there he goes. There he goes. Another phone call came in again. All right. So for God's sakes, please, let's get this shit on the road. Okay. So Barbie. You know what? Actually, I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction because this is worth mentioning right off the bat. It blows my mind.
Go right ahead.
My usual, and you know that I kind of live and die off of this website, boxofficemojo.com. I often use this to really break down what's going on in the box office, how the numbers are. Barbie, as you can see, is currently sitting at number 11 on the year of 2023. It is just behind, this is as of yesterday, just behind Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. But amazingly, it is $20 million ahead of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Well, we knew that.
Not just worldwide, but it beat it domestically and foreign, as you can see there. So it hit everything. And it crushed it in its opening weekend, even though Indiana Jones has already been out for 3 weeks.
I am surprised. I am shocked.
Yeah.
That it beat Wait, sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts again. I am shocked that it beat Dungeons and Dragons.
Of course it did.
What?
Yeah.
You're actually shocked it beat Dungeons and Dragons?
Because I was in the middle of watching it and I was entertained.
So
what you're showing right now is this opening weekend.
Across everything.
This is everyone's current gross after this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And just in one weekend, Barbie has chopped all the way up to number 11.
It's almost beat Mission Impossible.
Yeah, and it probably will. But what blows my mind is that Indiana Jones has now been out for a full 3 weeks. It came out June 30th. Yep. And in one weekend, Barbie has already taken Indiana Jones 5 out of the picture. To say nothing of all.
Rob's still calling a billion. They're still second weekend.
Well, we're going to talk about that. I mean, right now, the question in this case was Barbie versus Oppenheimer, who won. And I think it's pretty safe to say, from a box office standpoint, Oppenheimer is going to fall behind on this.
Yeah.
Oscar-wise, Oppenheimer will probably take it. But
here's the thing, though. The way I would phrase it, they both won. I mean, on the one hand, yes, pretty much as I predicted, you basically got double as much for Barbie as you got for Oppenheimer. Look at the numbers. Mm-hmm. You got 162 against Oppenheimer's 82. Mm-hmm. You know, that's basically 2 for 1. And that's that 3 hour versus an hour, 35-minute runtime.
2-to-1 international, too.
Exactly. So, I mean, that pretty much shows that Barbie and Oppenheimer roughly had the equal amount of audience. It's just Oppenheimer occupied more time.
Yeah.
And I would dare say, considering Oppenheimer was a $100 million budget, mm-hmm. Barbie was 145, which when you look at the set design, it's not a surprise. I mean, they both crushed expectations. I mean, think of it like this. When was the last time a historical drama in the middle of summer that was more prone for like Oscar nomination than anything else did well during the summer? Usually Oscar bait gets sucked in around all the other high-profile blockbuster material and rarely gets noticed except by the critics. Audience-wise, doesn't matter.
Christmas time is a lot of times, for Oscar bait movies.
Yeah. That or around Thanksgiving, too.
Mm-hmm.
So the simple fact that this movie, this Christopher Nolan, possibly the best film he's ever made outside of Batman, The Dark Knight, this thing rode the coattails of Barbie so well that not only is it like his best non-Batman premiere, mm-hmm. but I think now you actually have like a generation Poor Rob.
I haven't gotten a call all day, and now all of a sudden everybody's calling me. So I've been having to mute like Instagram, mute.
We have to remind people that basically he is not where we are, where we have internet access, and basically it's not all tied together. So
yeah, basically if someone calls me, I'm on my phone, so it interrupts it, and I have to refresh it. Therefore, it kicks me off, and therefore I have to say, "Hey Scott, can I please come back in?" I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. But anyway, go
ahead. It could have been worse. He could be getting like his internet at the library or something. At least he's got it in his own.
But I loved Barbie. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I went and saw it. No, I did not see Oppenheimer like I said I wasn't going to, but I loved Barbie. Mm-hmm. It was great. There was an elf reference, and I appreciated it.
Okay.
Which, do you know what reference I'm talking about, Ryan? Because I know you saw it.
No, I do not. Go ahead and mention it.
And I didn't see it.
The elevator, when he goes into the elevator and he's like, I have to touch
I got to push the buttons. Yeah.
There was a theory that doesn't mean this is true, but there was a theory that I appreciated where somebody said that the character he plays is Buddy the Elf in real life because, Buddy doesn't work for the North Pole anymore and he would still want to make toys and stuff. And yeah, there was a theory. Probably not the best theory, but I thought
Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, but that would kind of be rather morbid when you think about how Buddy was up in North Pole making toys, and then he grew up to be a CEO that would go ahead and confine Barbies into boxes, real-life people into boxes in order to set them. That is a dark timeline for Buddy the Elf.
This is Ryan Johnson's version of Barbie at this point.
Basically, yeah.
But I did love. I will say for anyone that is watching, do not bring your kids to watch it unless they're a little older. I mean, there was a lot of mature jokes on it, which makes sense for this kind of movie.
Well,
I wouldn't say it was kid friendly per se.
No, it's PG-13.
Yeah.
Listen, people aren't going to see PG-13 when they see Barbie.
Yeah, and not only that, most of the jokes went over kids' heads.
Yeah,
I mean, he actually threw out body parts. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, they talked about whether or not there was genitalia. So
yeah, but
I'm just from person I watched it. I think a 13 is appropriate age. I wouldn't have. There was a lot of little kids watching it, and I didn't feel it was appropriate for those kind of kids.
Well, that's why they say
7-year-olds.
parental guidance. You know, if the little kids have any questions, that's why the parents there to answer them.
I mean, you're right. But
what do they mean about vagina?
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
What's a brewski?
You taught them the basics. That's important. So far, like I said, this movie is crushing. But I'm going to be curious to see what happens second weekend.
Yes.
You know, and not because of Haunted Mansion coming out. I've already more than established.
Yeah, that movie's gonna bomb.
But it was funny because the marketing campaign for Barbie was extremely unique, where you had no idea what the subject matter was going to be. You had no idea what the storyline was. All you saw was, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling. You saw them in the outfits, and it was the curiosity factor. Now at this point, people know what the plot is. And apparently, from my understanding, some people were a little annoyed that I got a little preachy. And I wonder if that's going to hurt second weekend. Agree or disagree?
No, if it's necessarily going to be like that. I mean, yeah, okay, you do have certain people in news going ahead and burning Barbies on camera because they didn't like the movie. It's like,
well, that's just people being people. Listen,
I mean, dude, that's just gonna make people want to see it more.
Barbie.
They're gonna burn the Barbie.
And there is a special
Doug
cameo.
Walker talked about it, and he's left wing as you can get.
There was a special cameo in it that I enjoyed. And the reason why they had this cameo, I found out the details on it today, was because the movie that was filming across from them was Fast and Furious 10.
Oh, okay. So that's why. Yeah. Warner Brothers
John Cena makes an appearance in the movie. You can see him.
Mm-hmm.
And I read an article why he was in the movie, and it was because Barbie was being filmed across from Fast X. And John Cena ran into Margot Robbie, and Margot Robbie was in charge of all the casting for the movie.
Okay.
And he's like, I really want to be in the movie. And she's like, okay, can you play a mermaid? And he said, yeah. And so it was an accident, but he said it was a happy accident that he got to be in the movie.
Nice.
Dude, it worked, man. When people,
it did. I laughed.
Let me tell you, the theater I was in, people were clapping and cheering the minute the Warner Brothers logo came on and it was all pink instead of blue.
Mm-hmm.
All right? That is how hyped people were for this film. And really, it's a win that Warner Brothers needs. All right? After everything DC, after everything Hogwarts, Warner Brothers needs a cash cow. If Barbie's going to be it, so be it.
What? You gone incognito?
So, like you said, Warner Brothers needed a win, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought the budget was $100,000.
No, it was 145. Which, when you think about it, I mean, it's the little things that probably marked up. I mean, she had as many name-worthy people as probably Oppenheimer did. You know, that's the thing. Both these movies had very bloated casts.
But in this case, Oppenheimer doesn't have this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have sparkles and twinkles. No, Oppenheimer, if you went ahead, it would just explode, and it would be like orange mist.
It does, just not in pink.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's got a different kind of explosion.
Yeah.
Where? I was going to say there's no explosion. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So we'll go back on
wait, it was originally 145 because I could have swore last time we talked it was 100,000 because wasn't Oppenheimer also 100,000 too?
Oppenheimer was 100 million, yes. Not 100,000. God, if these movies were $100,000,
the future of cinema and independent film might be 100,000.
Someone called in a lot of favors.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, 100 million. I could have swore because when I looked up earlier.
Yeah, here, think Dr. Evil.
Everyone got paid with a toy Corvette and a Barbie in a box.
It's like
which, by the way,
it's like take this in lieu of pay.
The fact that they were selling that at AMC theaters, they were selling the Barbie Corvette popcorn box. And if you bought that, you also got a limited edition Barbie in the box, like an actual Barbie doll. $65.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the movie. I cannot imagine. I mean, sure, there were plenty of parents, but $65 for that?
It's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
You know, that car will fit back on the bar right there. So.
Yeah, you know what? No, because it's a collector's item.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the first car I've got on the bar.
Exactly.
It also wouldn't be the first car that probably got destroyed with popcorn being all over the place.
Yeah, see, that would be the concern I would have, is I'd make a mess on it, or somebody would make a mess on it.
Yep. Was anybody actually buying these when you saw
Oh, God,
them?
yes. I saw it before going into the movie. I saw it out of the movie. People were just having both in tow. Plus, the little inflatable, bath, I guess these bath floaties or pool floaties for, drinks, $3.99 each. That I would have gotten. That I'm probably going to, next time I go to movies, if they have any, I'm going to pick up some of those. And with the sweltering heat that we have here in Jersey, I'm going to dip a pool. I'm going to blow those up. I'm going to have a drink on the side, and I'm going to be chilling. That I can understand.
Go ahead, Rob.
Oof. The collector part of me is I get it, but the poor white boy in me is no.
I feel like the prices just keep going up and up and up. Everything they keep releasing for AMC, I've been seeing it slowly go up and up and up. Because wasn't the Fast and Furious car $50?
Yeah, and that didn't even come with a little Dominic Toretto doll or anything.
Did you get popcorn with it?
Yeah.
You do get a large popcorn with it.
No, you get a large popcorn with any collectible you get.
Bucks.
The large popcorn is $55 to that. The rest of it is $10.
Yeah, when you equate the money and with some magic, then it counts.
Dude, honestly, my brain kind of just works with, okay, well, the popcorn is how much here in this case? So you discount that and you think, okay, $65 plus tax, what are we, 6.875 over here?
Now,
so you're looking at $4 on that.
Were there an Oppenheimer, atomic testing bomb, a Trinity, a popcorn vessel? That I would have bought.
Okay.
Because that would have looked badass, up on here or something, just putting it on top of the movies there. Just a big old facsimile A-bomb.
We didn't have that. However, in respect, I will mention the fact that your review did get a ton of comments and it did get a lot of positivity out of it.
And the thing is, with a movie like this, it's hard to really say to normal people who are super film fanatics and film snobs that this is something to go and see. The way I phrased it, the visuals, the pacing, the editing, the music, the overall theater going experience, the reason you would even go into a theater, this movie is made for that, because you can almost feel the 3 hours, but it keeps up the pacing and the visual cuts back and forth.
Not to what some of the comments I see here did.
Right, but here's the thing. It's done in such a way that it keeps the attention going.
You know what's funny? The biggest, the most thumbed up comment that basically you got was, I wouldn't mind a director's cut of this movie and it'd be longer. And a comment below that was yes, give me a 5-hour oppie. Which, by the way, probably we're calling it oppie.
Okay, I don't think anyone's asking for a 5-hour oppie. Bad enough that people got the extended cut of Justice League, which was mentioned in Barbie.
Yes, which was great.
Well, you got to do the cross promotion in Warner Brothers there.
Right. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's I would hate to see a longer cut of this movie. Because if this is really Christopher Nolan's masterpiece, I'm hoping he left almost nothing on the cutting room floor.
Tedious, boring, confusing mess. I felt all 3 hours. I kept looking at my watch and it was so long. 2 different comments, by the way.
Which I can understand. I can absolutely understand that. The one thing that was really taking me out of this You know how we loved the cameos that were in Barbie and everything. The cameos or the actors that they get popping up in Oppenheimer, it's like, why did you even bring them into the film? There's so little utilization of these people. Like Rami Malek, I
because
feel
they
like
can tweet about how they're in it.
screwed over completely as far as like the caliber of actor he is and how little he was utilized. But then you also have like these people, these throwaway actors who are these physicists and scientists working under Oppenheimer. And it's like, there's Josh Peck, or that's the guy from Hereditary, or that's the white guy who does all the karate movies, and he was in Sky High. You know, it's like you recognize so many of these faces, but you shouldn't be recognizing these faces because the focus should be on the main people.
It takes you away from the movie, you're saying.
This is a movie where cameos take away from the film.
Yeah.
Because it takes you out of the element, and before you realize that what you were immersed in, you are now taken out and being like, what's he doing here?
Now, let me ask you this. Is it the same kind of thing like, say, throwing Jack Black or Lizzo into Mandalorian, where you can use their own social media, Instagram and Twitter, to promote your project?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was around that same mentality, you know, because, again, like I said, it's a very bloated cast with all the people that get focused on and don't get focused on. And I feel like a lot more of the surprising people were the ones that you really didn't have to focus on, but because they were younger or because they were a little bit more noteworthy than your standard actor that you could easily get for that. You know who really took me out of it? And they had like one scene. The guy that voices Dr. Venture from the Venture Brothers.
Oh, wow.
He was in the movie just walking with Albert Einstein down in the forest. He has like a couple of lines, and then Einstein walks back and is talking with Oppenheimer. But the whole time I'm like focused when they cut to the guys like, it's Dr. Venture! I recognize, I know that voice anywhere. And I'm like, why is he here?
Because he needs a paycheck.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, because basically here's the reality. I mean, when it comes down to it, a lot of the voice work, you know, is a very short thing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, James Urbaniak is the name of the guy.
Yes. I've seen him in other things, so I recognize the face too with like the little mole and everything. By the way, if you ever get the movie to see Dan Built a Maze or Dan Made a Maze, awesome little slasher horror movie with like full of whimsy.
He did an episode of 911 Lone Star the other day, not too long ago.
Probably.
That's weird.
And the Venture Brothers movie is coming out soon.
But yeah, but Venture Brothers, fine. Okay, I mean, you know him as, as Dr. Venture. But 911 Lone Star with Rob Lowe? It's like the same thing. It's like, why?
Hey, I mean, you get what you get.
Kathy Najimy, gets a free pass, Peggy Hill. But before that, she was like, in, what was it, Bedazzled, whatever the movie was. The one they just did a sequel to. She was in Sister Act, But sometimes you see these strictly voice actor people. I mean, Kevin Conroy, he acted.
Yeah,
outside of Batman.
Got to be Batman. Rest in peace.
He was a theatrical singer. He sang Midsummer Night's Dream. I did a video.
Oh, I would love to hear that.
Listen, I have it. I found it because I used the clip of it when I did my tribute video to him. And yes, he's a fantastic singer, which is why there's an episode of Justice League where he's singing "Am I Blue?"
Right, he sings for Cersei.
Yes, because they were like, okay, how do we get Batman to sing? How do we get Kevin Conroy to sing in this episode?
It's kind of like when Christopher Lloyd made an appearance in A Million Little Things as himself. In A Million Little Things in the newest season, there was an episode, and Christopher Lloyd, I forget what the episode exactly was, but they were talking about like if this was to come to happen, then it would mean a sign. And all of a sudden, they're at a restaurant and you see the main character drops something. Christopher Lloyd picks it up, gives it to him, and they say thanks. And then Christopher Lloyd walks away, and they go, "Wait, is that was that just the guy from Back to the Future? And so he played himself.
They said that in Mandalorian season 3 too.
Yes, he was. It was at
That
the same
episode.
time.
For no reason whatsoever.
It was at the same time too. If I'm not mistaken, it was like either the week before or the week after Christopher Lloyd was in both of those projects. So it was kind of funny how they both came out around the same exact time.
Get your health insurance. Listen, they don't take residuals anymore. So
yeah.
But yeah, as far as Oppenheimer itself as a film, I would recommend, if you see it in theaters for sure. Because I feel like this is definitely going to be one of those that once it gets to video on demand or once it becomes streaming on one of those networks, something will be lost. And while it's probably easier to sit at home for 3 hours and just marathon something that's, like this would work.
And pause, pee, and restart.
You're not going to get the experience that is being conveyed.
Same with Barbie. I'll be honest, that was probably one of the funnest experiences I've ever had in a theater besides Spider-Man No Way Home. That was a good adventure too. But watching Barbie, I was laughing throughout the entire movie. The audience were laughing, and I had a good time with it.
Good.
I would say, see Barbie in theaters, but for a different reason. Because the thing that really made that whole experience worthwhile, it wasn't so much the sound or the picture or anything like that. It was the audience. It was that audience feel. The same reason you go for like Scream on opening night, on midnight. You go for the overall ambiance that's being given out. You go into Barbie with a packed enough theater, especially if it's like, couples, like a date movie, or if it's like little kids or just a girls' night out or something like that, where you have like a predominant female audience who is going to grab onto the subject material better than, say, you or I. And you're going to get a more visceral reaction from the humor, from the sadness. You will hear women crying because they know the pain that is being conveyed through these characters. And you are going to come out of there being like, wow, yeah, that hit me a lot harder than I expected it to. I don't think you're going to do that if you're necessarily just watching it at home, because you could just easily, sit down, girls' night in, get some margaritas or mimosas, and that's it. But it's not going to hit you the same.
I thought they did a good job.
Dave, why do you have a face like that? I don't know if you're frozen or what.
I had a face like that too, and nobody addressed that one. It's like he's like, women drink, margaritas or mimosas. I know a fair number of women that will just straight down vodka straight up.
There you go. I will say, I love the ending of Barbie.
Oh yes, no, it was a nice little needle drop for sure.
Let's just say
it was also very sentimental up until that point. I would say.
Let's just say she had an appointment. That's all I'm gonna say.
A very important one.
And I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think was more American Pie? Oppenheimer or Barbie? You be the judge.
Now, you mean American Pie like Americana?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was about to say, it's like really, if we're talking about the other American Pie, I would say Oppenheimer was more American Pie.
I think it depends on the country this question is addressed to. I think if you're addressing the United States, Barbie. If you're addressing the rest of the world, Oppenheimer by large.
Well, no, if we're talking about American Pie with Jason Biggs, I would say Oppenheimer more so.
Well, what about Don McLean? What about the plane? Nobody talks about the plane that crashed and launched the song.
Yeah, exactly.
And without that, we would not have had a Weird Al parody video.
Oh wow.
Star Wars.
Whatever happened to that Weird Al show? Well, series.
What, the 90s?
You mean the movie?
Yeah.
The movie came out.
Oh, it did?
The Weird Al TV show was canceled after one season.
Oh, I was gonna say, but we had a movie. We did have a Weird Al movie with.
There was a Weird Al show, I think, on Fox.
Daniel Radcliffe that played Harry Potter.
You're talking that one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was only on Roku TV, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Roku's gone ahead and posted it elsewhere yet.
Or
it'll get sold to a streamer.
Well, as Weird Al himself did say that there were quote unquote a torrent of options to watch that movie. His words, not mine.
But yeah, I have to rewatch that. I thought it was Apple TV, but it may have been Roku. I have both.
No, it was Roku.
Roku.
No, if it was Apple TV, I would have had it.
Okay.
I think it was Apple TV. More people would have seen it.
Yes.
I have a Roku TV.
But did you guys know that there was a Twisted Metal TV show now?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not even know
Dave's
about that.
face. Yo, that's the guy from Captain America.
Yeah, no, good for Anthony Mackie to have something in the meantime.
Yeah.
He's come a long way from that guy that basically got destroyed at the end of 8 Mile.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, yes.
Yes.
Also, another big thing that happened this week was San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Yes. Which I got to meet because my friend video chatted me. I got to say hi to Butch Hartman, which was the creator of the Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay, nice.
And Danny Phantom.
Okay.
Hey, why are you trying to be frozen when you're not?
Dang.
Just
I
making
will
it
stick you in a nice box.
But we did get a trailer. We got the Mrs. Marvel's trailer, right?
Oh, yeah, we did get a...
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That got kind of crushed pretty rough there, too.
Well, that's the thing. It's like there was a lot of stuff that was like Comic-Con adjacent that didn't happen actually at Comic-Con because, again, all the big studios weren't really there.
Yep.
But there were still a lot of things that were pushed out to get in the spirit of Comic-Con. A lot of nice trailers. Though I did love the report, and I think I sent it to you, Scott.
You sent it to the group?
Yeah, from Jim Lee himself.
Yes.
Saying how this year was Comic-Con back for comic book and comic book fans again.
And we got Invincible season 2 trailer.
Oh, and another thing, Mortal Kombat.
Which apparently is on hold for filming right now, too.
No. We're talking about the video game?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the video game is now the new animated movie.
Exactly. And I sent it to you, Scott, that's Gilbert Gottfried's last project.
Wow.
You know what Gilbert Gottfried meant to me.
Yeah, and that's why
you were there when I sobbed uncontrollably after he died last year.
Yeah. What kills me is it finds out.
I've known him for years, man. That really hurt my soul.
Did you know him?
What's that?
Did you meet him? You knew him?
Oh, dude, I knew him for years.
I'm jealous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, basically, it came about mainly through the Hoboken Film Festival, but he would record messages to my parents. He would do all these kind of things. I mean, it was a really, really, really...
I loved him in Cyber Chase.
It's weird because he is nothing like his persona.
Yeah.
Like, hi, nice to meet you. Is there anything I can do for you? That sort of thing. And then he goes on stage like, a Jew, a black, and an Italian go to a bar. And he's like, thank you. I really appreciate everything you did. Anyway, I was sitting there going to town on this hooker. You know,
he has to be soft spoken. Imagine if you had to do that voice 24/7,
dude.
Kind of like Mario.
Basically,
let's go.
Like if we would have actually had an anime movie with him going woohoo, like the hour and a half, and may not worked.
Imagine if Mario's voice just switched to a black guy.
Well, I mean, we had a deep gravelly voice when we had Lou Albano. Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go do the Mario.
Yeah, that's almost like stereotypical Brooklyn.
Yeah. But like I said, most people don't remember Charles Martinet did work for Nintendo before Mario.
Yeah.
He was the announcer in Super Punch-Out. He did a couple of the voices in that. He was also Mario. I think it's something previous, too, that they had. Like Mario Teaches Typing. I think it was the original.
I thought it was...
Mario.
I thought when he interviewed, he didn't even know who Mario was. I could have sworn
he had worked with Nintendo on some other stuff. Because
unless I'm thinking of a different actor, but I could have swore before Charles Martin, when he participated, he didn't even know who Mario was.
Saw 10.
Oh yeah, there was a trailer for Gen V too. I forgot that I saw that.
Wait, there's a Saw 10th movie? What?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
They're trying to gather a whole bunch of horror films in October.
But all trailers aside, I'm happy. Again, trying to focus on the picture that we had up there.
Sorry. All right, I'll go back to whatever. What did I have there? As I've completely annoyed Ryan with that.
Well, I know that we get off topic, but I mean, we've got one of the biggest names ever in like modern comic book writing.
Besides Stan Lee.
Here, I'm going to put myself on mute.
Jim Lee.
Just so I don't get
Jim
any more
Lee.
trouble.
Different
I
Lee.
said besides Stan Lee.
Who's currently alive?
Oh, okay.
We lost Kirby. We lost Lee. We've still got Jim.
Yep. And we just lost Ramita Jr. Rest in peace.
Who?
Yeah.
Or Ramita. Sorry, not Junior, but Ramita Senior.
Oh, you are lucky you were in a different state.
Yeah.
Ryan, control your blood pressure. Calm down.
I'm trying. I am certainly trying.
I met Jim Lee twice. He's a really nice guy and a really good storyteller and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
And so what did the article, because you read the article, what did the article talk about? Because I didn't get a chance to read it.
Paul, can you pull up the article so this way we have the words on?
Oh. I just didn't know if you knew a synopsis, like Cliff Notes.
Not off the top of my head. I don't have it memorized verbatim, but I do know that he pretty much said that it belongs to comics. You know, that for too long, the big industries, the big movie producers and everything, they kept coming in and made it more of a spectacle for whatever they were hosing out. Which some of it didn't even have to play into anything that Comic-Con was about. It was pretty much just whatever was pop culture, whatever was popular. But because of them pulling out this year, for whatever reason, I'm sure Warner Brothers had its reasons because of how bad everything's been for them. But I also believe Disney has its reasons because they have their own showcase now. So this way they don't have to spend the money at Comic-Con necessarily.
And they're selling some of their IPs.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's pretty much been in like a holding pattern for some of these companies, especially with the way the summer has turned out, that it doesn't play well to go into a public space because they're more likely going to be ridiculed rather than praised for whatever they have on the docket.
Well, did you see what happened with David Zaslav when he did a commencement speech? I think it was at Harvard or something.
I know he got booed.
Yeah,
he got booed, but they were also chanting in unison, "Pay your writers." So they don't want to do that.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, in unison,
the strike had already started at that point. Yeah,
yeah, because he made 400. He's made 497 or 498 million in the last 5 years. So you know, I mean, here's the thing: you work a Warner Brothers project, you get like a 15% discount on your Verizon bill. That I can tell you. I know because I used it for a few years.
Right, and that's the funny thing. It's like, if any of those places had shown up over the weekend with the writer strike going on, with the actor strike going on, with all the projects that have come out lately being mediocre, and even though there is stuff for these industries and these producers to go out and promote, they really can't and they really shouldn't. Then what else is going to happen at Comic-Con? Some may have thought no one would have gone, but you know what? People went.
Yeah.
People went in mass. People went in cosplay. People went and got things signed. They still had their photo ops. They still had a grand old time. It proves that Comic-Con is not an end-all, be-all destination. It will survive and it will thrive even with big industry out of the way.
Now, if you take funk,
beautiful.
Now, the better question is, what if it survived if you took Funko out of it?
Yes.
I don't think so, because majority of the people.
Well, no. Here's the thing: if you took a day away from Funko, then it would crash.
Oh, hold up, and I'm going to interject.
Davion keeps Funko in.
No. I'm going to Brian. In all seriousness, this is not all Funko. Some of this is Togman farming, and others are stuff that, and not only that, it's just the fact that Funko had did something unique. You're laughing, but I'm serious.
Because I wasn't trying to make you become a Funko apologist. I'm just trying to say you've got that whole wall of stuff.
No, it's not about being a Funko apologist, because I'm not apologizing that I got Funko. I'm just letting it be known that Funko had did something that was unique, that made you interested in buying a product. Like some of the stuff I have is not about the latest Star Wars. It's all about memories of your childhood and having it stored right there behind me. Like those are like stuff I used to watch, stuff that I reminded myself as a kid to high school to when I'm in my 20s. And it gradually, and they did something with that to make you be like, yo, this is the stuff I was entertained with when I was a kid. This is the stuff I was entertained when I was like first time 21 watching this. So
when was the last time you played with them?
You don't play with them, man.
Yeah, you don't play. You collect them.
So these were memories of toys and everything that you had played with, things you have seen, but you keep them in the box just to sit there and collect dust.
They're collectors and they're good for shelves and displaying them.
Reverse minimalist.
I mean, why don't you have your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle out of the box?
It's out of the box. It's hanging there.
Oh, the reflectiveness.
Yeah, no, that's just a poster. No, okay. But no, Mikey's out there living life.
Yeah, but
staring in one direction only because he's fascinated by whatever's over there.
Right.
So when's the last time you played with him?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Probably the last time I had to go ahead and put him up there when we were talking about Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. So you can't.
So I played with mine a lot sooner than you played with yours. Wait, that sounded wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can continue talking about you guys playing with yourselves or whatever you have going on.
It's just like the Barbie movie.
I'd like to interject if I may. Because basically I've been very quiet the whole way through. Being someone who got into the anime culture well before some of you were even born.
Wow, Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh yeah, I had this actual Animerica from 1993. Pris actually was one of my anime my anime crushes. I'm not gonna lie, but in this case, Comic Cons and anime cons and gaming cons in the 90s were very niche. I missed that niche, and I think a lot of it really has to do with, and I really enough, I blame Iron Man. Because even the movies up to that point, the X-Men movies, the Spider-Man movies, they were still kind of its own little quirky little niche. But Iron Man blew it up and made it mainstream in what became the MCU. I remember talking to a guy a bunch of years ago, I think it was 2012. He was talking about it too because he ran a comic book shop when the stereotypical comic book guy ran a comic book shop. And he's like, I miss having my own thing and I miss being unique. And you know what? Comic-Con this time around, being for comic fans, like you talked about, brings back that uniqueness to it that's been lost over the last, say, 15 years. So that's one thing I have to say is actually kind of nice. And the same thing ties into anime. The things that ties into like stuff, because I come from an era where you got the shit kicked out of you for watching stuff like this.
Right. And with the era I came with, people literally hid and not really talked about it until you got to your, what year? I would say my junior year. And then you start finding out that the stuff they like, you liked.
Yep.
This is so reminiscent of like an anime that just came out last season. If you haven't watched it, go watch Magical Destroyers.
Okay.
It's pretty much, it's set in this world where it's like otakus are being round up and like put away because of their fandom and everything. They're being outcasted.
I can't. I'm still working.
They're all like subjected to like a place. I think it's Akiba, and that's like the last refuge of otakus in Japan. And they're fighting.
So what episode of Demon Slayer are you on?
And you have like these three magical girls that all represent different kind of like fandoms and everything.
The Powerpuff Girls?
I mean, semi-colored. There's not a green one, but there's a red, a blue, and a pink.
All right.
But they
that's more like Magic Knight Rayearth.
And they have a guy with like a colander helmet called Otaku Hero, who is basically just fighting the good fight. He's like, the Captain America of the push to get otakus back into normal society and for people to like what they want to like without being oppressed by this guy with a television for a head or something. I won't spoil anything else.
I've seen that guy. Okay.
I know you're going to think about the guy that we met. No, different. Yes, him. That's Otaku Hero.
Okay. Yeah, Kyle probably remembers America. Yeah,
that would be a really easy cosplay to do.
Vince had catalogs, for like badly dubbed stuff. Let's see, Voltron, Ronin Warriors. Okay, respect to that one. Sailor Moon. Okay, fine.
I like to use Gundam Wing and not just regular Gundam because I think.
Here's the thing: Gundam Wing was on like Toonami in its early days. That's how people got familiar. That's how I got familiar with Gundam Wing. DBZ.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't remember say the original Gundams with a lot more of the political aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But Gundam Wing, when you had Duo and Quattro and those.
Yes, and don't forget Yu-Gi-Oh!
Gundam Death Scythe alone was just so goth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I was so happy when I actually got the models and I painted one.
Let's see. If FLCL season got a trailer, they're going to 3D look like the new Trigun.
And I'm going to say something. The stuff that I watched when I was a kid that was anime was more like Demon City.
You watched Demon City as a child?
Yes.
My God.
Explains so much.
That whole bedroom scene alone should not have been visual for children.
No. You want to hear the worst one?
What?
It was a alien movie where there was some type of nerve gas or something that was alien that got into the spaceship. And what they did, it was similar to The Thing, but it was like something cat. Lily's cat. Lily Cat. CAT.
I remember hearing Little Cat. Yeah.
My God, Dave.
Super dark. Violent Jack.
Oh God.
Berserker.
Well, I mean, Berserker is tame by today's comparisons, but yeah, I guess back when you were a kid, just the whole thing with the God Hand. Oof.
Akira.
The manga was a lot better than the anime.
Yeah,
manga was so much better.
It was definitely.
Oh God, City Hunter. Yeah, I like City Hunter.
Vampire D.
Oh yeah.
Vampire Hunter D. Yeah, that's more classic.
Which, by the way, was also why we have red mages in Final Fantasy.
Right.
Because Yoshitaka Amano, who actually designed the characters from Final Fantasy, started out and got his credibility from Vampire Hunter D. That's why D and red mages look so much alike.
Next, you're going to tell me you were watching Ninja Scroll.
Yep.
God, you should be seeing these things at the child.
I was watching Goji and La Blue Girl also.
My God.
And then Street Fighter.
That's where I started.
See, I went through dark phase of my life because I was an only child.
And what show was that, Scott?
Battle of the Planets.
Yeah, Bloodlust Ninja.
What was that called?
Battle of the Planets, 1970s.
Oh, I remember Highlander: The Search for Revenge.
Yeah, which I think also had the guy who played Mythos.
Was this any similar to Captain Planet?
No.
This was
like
more.
On that one.
This was probably more similar to the things you would have seen, like
Power Rangers,
Voltron, or Bionic 6, or stuff of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like I said. This is where I started. I was 4 years old when I watched.
Appleseed.
Appleseed, okay.
Dang, your poor soul.
Paranoid Agent. I've never seen anything past the intro, but I've watched the intro like 50 times.
Wait,
Paranoid Agent was alright. It was just one of those when you compared it to other anime at the time, especially the kind of stuff you were getting on Toonami, it was just so different because it was so long form storytelling that it was well, I just want to see the kid with the bat. That's all I care about. Just show me the kid with the bat.
Yeah. I remember that. The kid that kept hitting people.
Yeah, that's all anyone cared about as far as Paranoia Agent. Everything else was superfluous.
All right, so Ryan, what you was about to say about my as a child?
That Your soul has been rotted out by that dark anime at such a young age. My God. I fear for you. I cry for you now. Little Slugger. That's his name, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you fear for me for what? Like, it basically pretty much made me who I am.
Which is why I'm scared of you now.
Why?
We've learned so much in today's episode. On a very special episode, we've learned why Day is the way he is.
He's the opposite of day. He's night.
Ooh.
Aha.
And
I learned a long time ago you can't say that to a black man, so I'm not even going to try that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, my autism's kicking in hardcore because I didn't even see that one. I'm just like,
I was saying night because of how dark those animes were.
Which, by the way, I just want to point this out. If you ever you've seen like American Gladiators. A lot of people know American Gladiators. Yes. The British version is so much better because the music is better, the crowds are better. They're rebooting it, so they got a new series coming out with Bradley Walsh and his son. Are they going to be doing? Really? But the black people on that show, there's like Nightshade, Shadow, and it's like this is a totally different country here.
Rob, you good? I'm not just.
No,
because I knew where you was going with it, but
by the way,
I came out a little bit like controversial.
Akira
Man,
is
everybody
so
thinking we're all racial nowadays.
The Akira anime was nothing. Was garbage compared to the manga. Garbage. If you read the manga, it is so much better. It fleshes out the story so much more, and it actually has a full out conclusion to the entire storyline. It's like
I'll say Elfen Lied is probably more messed up than Akira is. If you want to go around that same like boundary of like people experimented on and everything. The only reason Akira is messed up is really because of like the body horror when he's getting all bloated. Because that's just fine animation. Being able to have like that swirl, that visceral movement and everything. It's cool.
But it's just.
But also, didn't it have Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles in there?
The voice
did it?
Was it Camp Clark? One of the Ninja Turtles was actually.
I think Camp Clark did. Yeah, hold on.
Oh,
yeah. One of the original Ninja Turtles was actually like the main voice of like Kaneda in that one.
Now, I will say this: what really brought me into fully anime is Hellsing.
Okay, yeah, you're still a kid though. That one.
See, all these films I've been watching as a kid because I had a cousin that had a whole collection of anime.
The only anime I watched as a kid was Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is an anime.
And that is why you are so sweet and innocent, Rob.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm not?
No.
No. You an evil man. But
okay, no. We're all
just told us
independent conversations here.
Oh, because I watch dark anime.
All four of us are having our own independent conversation. So I'm just going to talk to the people in the chat and respond to them directly. So, by the way, you mentioned Knights and Warriors, which, by the way, great reference on that. I'm going to see if you can do one better here. Because I don't know if you remember this, and by God, I'd love it if anybody does.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Masters.
Yes. With
WMC Masters. With Shadow,
with
Bruce Lee's daughter.
What's his face's daughter? Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And the guy that played the Mortal Kombat that fought Liu King.
Yeah, that was Ho-Sung
He's right there.
Yeah, that's right. Him on the bottom. Like,
oh yeah.
What was his name? Superstar?
No, he wasn't Superstar. He was something else.
It was some other star.
But also, if you look in the bottom left, the guy that looks like that, he was the original Liu Kang in the first two Mortal Kombat games.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, no, I thought you meant Hakeem the Warrior. I think is the guy, the dude on the right behind, in front of Chris Casamassa.
Oh, okay.
He lost in the first Mortal Kombat movie. He was like the first, your soul is mine. But no, Ho-Sung Pak was Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2.
Yes,
and he's probably best known for being in Drunken Master 2 with Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
because he's the one that Jackie Chan set on fire.
Yeah, and they had like this little narrative thing going on, even though it was pretty much just guys sparring every episode.
And it was it was so absolutely.
Oh yeah,
staged.
he was.
Yeah, surf ninjas. Move your hands, move your arms.
No. He wasn't in Surf Ninjas. He was in Beverly Hills Ninja.
I would rather be in Surf Ninjas than like one of Chris Farley's last movie. Chris Farley was in Ninja.
Don't you dare besmirch the good name of Chris Farley. His fat butt ran so that we could all just easily walk. All right.
And you know what? He was almost a Chippendale dancer.
Yes.
But he lost out to Patrick Swayze.
But you know what? Seeing him doing the flips around, even if it was
he was great at that. He was
stunt double.
Yeah.
It made me believe.
Chris Farley. What has it been? 24 years?
Yeah.
By the way, Scott, just to answer your question, yes, Cam Clark did voice on Akira. He was Kaneda.
I'm meeting Cam Clark.
Kaneda. There.
Well, I mean, he was the original Kaneda. Now, if you go back and see like new versions of it, they have John Young Bosch as the voice.
Yeah,
good choice.
Really
good choice.
Cool.
Good choice.
Broly. But yeah, the original dub was Cam Clark.
Who else was in
second Broly?
Who else was in the reboot?
Oh, for the love of God!
Listen, if it's too much to pull up, it's okay. Don't worry
about it. Let's see. You got Steve Bloom in there.
Actually, okay, fine. That's a good choice.
He's gonna be at Arkansas Comic Con.
Let's see. I'm guessing that's an old one. That's an old one. That's an old one. I'm judging based upon whether or not they had color photos or black and white photos.
That's fair. It's one of those kind of setups.
Let's see. Patrick Lee. Lex Lang.
Okay.
Wendy Lee. Dan George. Peter Lorre. Oh yeah, Matt Mercer does some additional voices in it.
Okay.
God dang it. This is why I don't like IMDb sometimes, because they don't give like particulars as to what version. They just go ahead and throw the name in there if they worked on it.
What do you mean? They should be. If you look up the show, it should tell you what seasons they're in, and that should give you.
Right, but this is a movie, so I mean, it's not necessarily going to say what dub, like what year or anything like that. It's just who they voiced, and that's it.
And that's not even counting the live action Japanese one that they did.
You're right.
No. So I mean, you've got to scroll through all the Japanese voice actors first before you even get to the American ones, and even then, it's a hodgepodge of whether it was the original or any updated one.
And Taika Waititi is doing a live action Akira. Really?
But it originally supposed to have been doing a live action because they said, what's his name was a part of it?
DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio is involved, yes. Christmas cards.
I don't know.
Also, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but it's been really good. And the last episode comes out Wednesday, is Secret Invasions.
Yes, I have been watching. It's been decent.
I enjoyed it.
I just started watching it.
The 5th episode is freaking fire. They all been really
good. It has to be, because it's the penultimate. It has to get you riled up to see the end. The middle ones were literally middling.
It's my favorite Disney Plus show that's came out.
Okay.
Really? Of all the Marvel ones?
Out of all the Marvel ones, this one has had me hooked every single episode.
Okay.
Wow.
None of them felt like fillers to me. They all felt important and had to happen, and no fillers. In the other shows, there's been filler episodes that have dragged out the show. This one, I want to come back every week. The other ones, I felt a little more forced to come back every week because you know something's going to happen in the last 2 episodes. But this one, I felt like it's been smooth. It's been good pacing, and yeah. So
now let me ask you just a question on that. Really, why people are hating? Okay, really don't know why. All right.
And by the way, also I want to give credit to that one. Yes, please.
They're working on that supposedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as Secret Invasion goes, I think the issue with Secret Invasion is because a lot of people probably have like expectations about like based upon the comic, like who would be Skrull and who wouldn't be. Like, would we actually see that some of the people we've known from the movies are literally Skrulls, and that just changes the whole aspect and dynamic of what they've done or who has died and who has lived. And really, it's more of a centered story about Nick Fury and his come up in the years that we didn't really get to see much of him. You know, it's like filling in the gaps of his tale. Which, unfortunately, if this is supposed to be taking place after everything we've seen so far, but it takes place before the Marvels, it really doesn't leave a lot to the imagination as to how it's going to end.
You know he survived. Well, yeah, probably. But see, also, I think part of it is, it might be the fact that might be ties into the comics, but I think a lot of people who are watching it are not necessarily as familiar with the comics. It's more of the literal 15, now 16 years of MCU movies, and however many dozens of projects that they have to compare this to at this point.
Right.
You know, I mean, the reality is all of this stuff is going to be compared to the Avengers and the Infinity. Is that Nick Fury will always be Avengers and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to be, probably internally comparing it to all of the previous Marvel projects, good and bad.
Right, but I think that's also part of the expectation. Had Secret Invasion come out like, I don't know, after Civil War.
It was supposed to.
Had it come out at a different phase or even a different part of one of the phases, I think it would have been respected a little bit more from not necessarily being a part of the bigger superhero world that has been built around it, being just a simple, isolated espionage, conspiracy sort of like thing.
Right.
But now that you've already gone through all three major phases, you're in phase 4, as middling as it was, starting up phase 5, and here we have a Skrull invasion, and now one of the Skrulls have taken on any of the personas of any of the superheroes that we've seen all this time. That's just this little isolated thing in Nick Fury's past.
Well, no, there was...
No spoilers, no spoilers. I'm talking like anything.
Saying there is one.
The simple fact is, I think you have a lot of like bait and switch mentality, where it's like you were hoping this cameo would come up or relate to this bigger idea of the world that they've created because of the movies.
And I think episode 6 will do that exact thing.
Yes, but you shouldn't be towing the line for 5 episodes and then finally delivering on something like that in the 6th. If anything, you should do that in the first episode and really like bleed it out.
You find out something in the 4th episode. That's all I'm gonna say.
I've watched it with you. I know what.
No, I'm talking about Day.
I know. I'm trying to save them from saying it, but
no, I haven't seen it.
I know you haven't seen it. That's why I'm trying to be very low key about it. But it's.
I'm just saying.
I just think a lot of people expected more, and this was the one that was supposed to give it more because it wasn't really introducing anyone to any new characters. If anything, there should have been a lot of throwback characters, and it's not.
They get rid of a character.
Quiet.
Look, to be real, they get rid of a few characters, but still.
By the way, just to let you know, I've put Rob on mute because he keeps spoiling everything, even though we keep asking him not to.
Exactly.
So if Rob can be a good boy and not spoil anything else, I will take him off mute. Can he do that?
No, wait, don't take him off. Keep him.
Okay. So anyway, listen, what do you want to know something that really pisses me off about Rob? Just drives me up a wall about that kid. My God, he drives me up a wall with this stuff. And I swear to God, if he was able to talk right now, I would give him the opportunity to say something in this, but he is not. So no.
You can put it back on.
Fair.
All right, you're back on. So,
Rob,
I'm back.
I was doing free screen.
Hey, I didn't say what character, so I did not give no spoilers.
No, but listen, you got to.
I'm just saying.
Here's the thing: you have to have spoiler alerts in the way this system works.
Right.
So
you have to make an announcement saying.
Yeah.
Okay, spoilers. I did not say no names.
Spoiling the crap out of this.
You're a little late now, but for future reference.
Why?
By the way, Bruce Willis is dead the whole time in Sixth Sense. Snape kills Dumbledore.
Scott!
Sadness. Unfathomable sadness.
Next, you're going to be telling me that Vader is Luke's father or God.
Oh my God, Tim.
What? What?
Spoiler alert, Mufasa dies in The Lion King.
Oh God, tears. Cry me a river.
In the original or the remake?
Both. And it had me cry in both scenes.
Mandalorian gets actually, the dark saber.
Dirty Dancing, Jennifer Grey was underage.
Bambi's mom died. Whoa, the dog didn't like that one.
Marley and Me, the dog dies at the end.
Oh, the dog got quiet at that one.
Yeah, right.
No, he's still barking. I muted myself.
I'm not trying to be in the sequel.
In the comic storyline of Terminator, where basically Kyle Reese and someone else went back in time. Kyle was not killed in that version. He survived, but he was taken into Area 51 and hidden.
Well, that's stupid.
And then the other guy that was basically there had to rescue him out alongside Sarah Connor.
Just like there was 6 different endings to the Spider-Man movie that we got.
Also 6 different endings to the Indiana Jones movie.
Not Darby.
So.
And this is spoilers, but not spoilers. There are 2 different versions of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man Into the Verse, that the new Spider-Man cartoon that are playing at theaters right now. There's 2 different versions that we know of.
Animated film.
The animated film, yes. There's 2 different versions that are playing at
I'm just
theaters.
correcting. You don't call that a cartoon.
Yeah.
It is a cartoon.
You and your Japanese cartoons.
It's a cartoon.
It is not a cartoon.
No, it's not. Cartoon is Hanna-Barbera. That is an animated masterpiece.
It's animated cartoon. There you go.
All right, I'll take it. I can solve
animated cartoon. That's like saying ATM machine.
Listen,
anyways,
let's negotiate on that one.
There's at least 2 different versions that people are seeing at their theater right now.
All right, what version? Explain. Enlighten.
Well, you'll have to look it up. I forget what the exact. There are.
I saw the one where
3 different versions of Clue.
Straw Hat Goofy talked about it in his. I think it was Straw Hat Goofy that talked about it in his video. He posted like 2 days ago or something like that. Was talking about how there are different versions right now. I can't remember the exact details. There's just they're like different details. Like one thing happens to one character, and then in the other version something happens different. Like
one version has bad sound, the other one can improve the sound. So
actually,
no, like one was taking a selfie in the scene, one wasn't taking the selfie in the scene, something like that.
Yeah, little superfluous stuff.
I'm going to give you 2 endings that they filmed for Dial of Destiny that they never used. Okay. So you guys already know how the original version ended. One of the endings in this case here is old Indy joins up with young Indy and Helena Shaw. Young Indy gets killed and old Indy fades away. And Helena Shaw takes the hat and becomes the new Indy. That's one of the endings that they filmed. The other ending that I know of that they filmed, and this one I think actually kind of feels sort of sweet, is Indiana Jones gets stuck back in the past, but sends a message forward that only his son and his wife Marion are able to read, in apologizing for everything and insisting that Mutt does not go to Vietnam, and he chooses not to. I kind of like that one.
That one seems a little Back to the Future.
What's that?
That one just seems a little Back to the Future for me.
Yeah, I know, but I think it would be a little bit of a sweeter, bittersweet end. I mean, Marion would look at it from the perspective of, he's stuck there forever. I lost my husband, but at least my son's still alive.
Well, the question is, did Shia LaBeouf even want to be part of the new one? That would be the better question. Because if that was the ending, they would have had Shia LaBeouf, then he would have had to be in the movie.
Well, in this case, I don't know the stories on that specifically, but my point being is that had they gone with that ending, he might have actually filmed something for that.
Yeah.
I mean, because he would be age appropriate, because it was 1969, so that was about 12 years old. You can make that work, and have the look of basically him not going to Vietnam. So I think that would have been kind of a sweet ending, but they chose not to do that. And I don't know what the other 3 endings were. They filmed 3 others that I'm unaware of.
I think the problem is, however, it looked like they were going to end it. They were going to try to pass the mantle.
Kathleen Kennedy
already said that she wants passing the mantle in what they did that went to theaters was the smart play. Let him go off into the sunset like he was supposed to in the 3rd movie, and
the 4th.
live out the rest of his days in peace.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was the original plan. Kathleen Kennedy had wanted to make an Indiana Jones TV show starring Fleabag. So, but
well, he doesn't get to do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, given the fact that Barbie has already beaten it at the box office, 1 weekend versus 3 weeks. Oops. But
now, question: is it true that was let go, or she's left? Or
I haven't heard anything, but there's the heaviest rumors I'm hearing right now are that they are not going to renew her contract, quote unquote, when it expires next year.
Yeah, and the simple fact that some of the Star Wars stuff has been like canceled out, like
repeatedly.
Forget about Acolyte. That's
the
not
Colin
happening.
Trevorrow one, the Game of Thrones guys, Ryan
Rogue
Johnson was supposed
Squadron.
to have a trilogy.
Yeah, you're gonna get Ahsoka, and you're gonna like it because who knows when the next thing is.
It kills me to say it, but I'm kind of burned out on Star Wars.
It's a damn shame.
I'm looking at my Darksaber right now.
Listen, there's no argument with that one because that's a Filoni project.
No, we're not doing this again where everyone's holding up their lightsabers like it's a measuring contest.
My lightsaber's well, you know what? My lightsaber's darker than your lightsaber.
Why you gotta make it about race, man? What the hell?
It's not about race. It's about power.
It's about skin color, so technically it's about race.
Well, I was going to say, actually, they are species, so I guess they are different races. But yeah,
Don't look at me like that, Dave.
Okay, on that note, I figure Bam was not even going to say what I'm going to say. Let's call it right here. Thank you guys for tuning in.
My name's Rob. That's Dave.
Rob,
that's Ryan, and that's Scott.
No. Rob, continue what you were saying.
No, I was kidding.
Scott, say what you were saying.
I was going to say, actually, if you look at Clone Wars and Rebels and you see the Darksaber being swung, it has a slightly different animated look than the other lightsabers do. And I like the way that kind of glides a little bit more. It's a nice touch to it. Remember sitting there backing it up and rewinding and going forward and just watching how they animated that. Damn, that was clever. Because it had this certain glide to it that was different from the other lightsabers.
Yes, because that's why I love the Darksaber.
Respect.
And I can't wait to see him again next month.
Who's that?
Moff Gideon. That's
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
That has the Darksaber.
And how Dave's looking at his board and pulling out his peg.
That'd be a beautiful piece to get signed.
Could be. Yeah, you can get $1 off of that. I'd buy that for $1.
Nope. It's going to be worth more than $1.
Yeah, especially when he charges $80 for his autograph.
Well, it might be higher than that now with these comic conventions.
No, he's $80 at the Comic Cons.
That's not. I guess it's not that bad, but
it's not too bad. Or you could pay $140 and get Christopher Lloyd's.
I'm sorry.
I'll pass.
Oh, come on. It's Reverend Jim, man. Come on.
Yeah.
What does the yellow light stand for? Yeah,
okay, let's close out.
None of you guys, I think, were even alive for that reference. There.
Fandom just goes on.
All right. Anyway, I think we're going to call it right here. I got a phone call coming in about 10 minutes. So.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Davion Bussey. That's right. Oh, wrong way. That's right. That's Scott. This is Robert.
You have one job, Dave.
Shut up. When you're looking at the screen, it throws you off. This is Tales from the Film Set, and we sign it off.